The next question on the list is, if you have any original works, could you tell us about what you're working on? Okay, so I actually do have an original work, and I actually self-published it on Amazon probably about, has it been a year? It might have been a year ago. I'm actually losing sense of time, but I think it was a year ago. And it's called The Keeper's Key by Kelly Ashley. That story is basically a fantasy. I love fantasy, so, Harry Potter, case in point. It's about these 3 kids who are about 11 or 12 years old, and they break into a woman's house who's actually supposed to be a witch, and that's just like the local lore among the kids, the school kids. And they find this key in her basement. When they take the key, the witch gets very upset, and they end up getting chased and hunted down for it. That's basically pretty much abridged version of that short story, but I'm quite proud of it, mostly because it's a actual book that you can buy, and the fact that it's something that's not fan fiction related. I never thought that I actually would have something like that, and it wasn't planned. I actually had the story written out on my computer just there because hobbies of mine, I just wanted to do it. And I ended up on Amazon looking to see just randomly what it was like self-published, and it seemed pretty easy. It was not that easy, a lot of formatting, and it drove me insane. But I ended up doing it, and it's there to be sold, and people have bought it, and I'm actually quite proud of that. It's actually supposed to be a trilogy. So the second book is finished, the third one is not. When the second one will be out on Amazon, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm hoping. It was supposed to be this year. It probably won't be this year, maybe next year, so I have to take my time and edit it and revamp it and maybe do a better cover than I had for the first book, because I really don't like it now that I think about it. But I'm hoping to get that out next year and work on the third book and hopefully have that out in a decent time frame. So that is an original work that I have going for me. What is the best advice you received about writing? That's a good question. I can't really recall advice that I've gotten from other people. Writing has been a very personal thing for me. I've never actually publicized it as much as I do now with fan fiction. One thing that I did used to write a lot was in high school, and that was for poetry. I used to write poetry. I don't write poetry much anymore, but when I did used to write it, it was mostly just write how you feel, also action words. I learned instead of, I think it was show, don't tell, show, don't tell. So instead of saying he did this, or it was kind of being more descriptive as much as you can possibly do. So I've been trying to do that with my writing. I'm not sure if it fully comes across sometimes. I have to go back and edit, but that's one advice that I did get. And once again, write how you feel. Let it go. One of the exercises we had for poetry writing was streams of consciousness. It was just, taking a piece of paper, some kind of notebook, and just writing. Not stopping, not taking time to edit, not stopping to think about what you're writing, and just go for it. And I don't necessarily do that with my writing, because writing a book takes a little bit more thought than just streams of consciousness. But sometimes when I have my music on and I'm writing, I write and I just I hammer it out. I think that kind of plays into my writing process a little bit, so that's pretty good advice that I did get from my teacher, so thank you. What do you do when you hit writer's block? Writer's block sucks. I think any and every author will tell you that. So for my writer's block, I have 2 methods for myself. One is to write anyway. That's probably a little bit contrary to what a writer's block actually is, but I find when I have writer's block, there's a temptation to not write at all and to just leave your work to gather dust, and then you don't end up writing again. And I never want to do that. I have one story on fanfiction.net that I haven't touched in, I'm really terrified to say how long it's been. It's not abandoned despite the fact how long it's been since I wrote on it, but that was a writer's block. And I set it down thinking that I was going to go back to it, and I haven't gone back to it yet, and I feel really bad about it. So what I tend to do now is I'll open the story that I have writer's block on, and I'll read through what I've written, and then I go back to where I left off at, and I start writing. It might just be 1 word, 2 words, might be a space, a quotation mark, or a period. To me, that's still something and some kind of progress. It's better than just having nothing there and no progress done. That kind of gives me a little bit of motivation to kind of continue what it is. And then after a while, I end up actually writing more than what I have. Most of the time though, I go back and I delete what I wrote and start fresh and start anew. So either way, whether it's a little bit or a lot, some writing progress is happening, so that kind of helps with my writer's block. The second thing is I do tend to put the story away for like a week or two. That has a downside to not picking back up again for months or years, alluding to that one story that I haven't touched since I don't know what year it was. But if it's a story where I know where it wants to go, but the middle piece is kind of missing, that I'll take a chance on and put it away for like 2 or 3 weeks, because I think me staring at that screen is not going to help me. And I think if I put it away and let my mind just flow or think about something else for a little while, if I come back, then the muse just comes and smacks me over the head and I start writing like a mad woman. So between, little progress versus putting it away on a shelf and coming back later, those two methods tends to work a lot for me when it comes to writer's block. How has fan fiction altered your life? It has altered my life in the biggest way possible. Mostly because it's let me know that I can write, that I don't suck at writing. You don't know how good or bad of a writer you are unless someone tells you. That's pretty much it. I mean, you can think you're the best writer ever or the crappiest writer ever, but another pair of eyes is actually a really good thing to have. When I was writing Happily Divorced, I think, or Till Death Do Us Part is the story that I wrote before Happily Divorced. The response that I got from it and the reviews let me know, I think I have a talent. I think I can actually write. So then Happily Divorced came along, and then Unhinged, and then Anonymity, and all these other recent stories, Need. And I realized that I can actually write. And it gave me such a good boost of not morale, a good confidence booster. I think that's how fanfiction altered my life. It let me know that this is something that I can actually do. It's not a pipe dream. It's not something that I have to give up on because no one's gonna ever think I'm a good writer or no one's gonna buy me books or something like that. But just let me know that I can actually do it. It gave me hope that I can actually be an author one day with my original works.